Hare Krishna. Pranam to all the devotees. Om Adhyanatimiraandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome to all the devotees in today's session of the secrets of Bhagavad Gita. Today we are going to study Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, text 12 to 19. These particular verses are very much interconnected, and that is the reason we are going to study them together. But before I begin these verses, I would like to mention some more point from the last few verses. We heard that Duryodhana mentioned some of the qualified warriors from his army, such as Dronacharya, Bhishmadev, Kripacharya, Ashwathama, Karna, Vikarna, and so on. And then he mentioned that besides these great warriors, there are many others who are prepared to lay down their life for me. So Acharya explains that Duryodhana had Jayadrath, Kritavarma, and many others uh, who were ready to assist him at even at the cost of their lives. So I would like to mention a little bit about Jayadrath. Jayadrath was the son of Vritakshatra. He was the king of Sindhu Desh or Sindhu area. He was the husband of Dushala, who was the daughter of Maharaj Dhritarashtra. So, in that sense, he was the son-in-law of Maharaj Dhritarashtra, and he played a very crucial role in protecting the Chakravyuha, wherein Arjuna's son Abhimanyu gets killed by the combined effort of seven Maharathis from Kaurava's side. So that was Jayadratha. And then we have Kritavarma. Kritavarma was the commander in chief of Yadu army. Uh, it so happened that Duryodhana once approached Lord Krishna for help, and being obliged, he had to give him some help. So he gave his own Narayani army to Duryodhana. So Kritavarma was leading that particular army. So that's about Kritavarma. Next point is the in the text 10 when Duryodhana encourages his warriors to protect Bhishma from all the sides. Acharya Baldev mentions that it was particularly to ensure that Dronacharya, who was standing next to Bhishma, should not become udasina or indifferent to his active role in Mahabharata. So there are other warriors who may get discouraged by exceptional glorification of Bhishma's capabilities. However, Baldev Vidyabhushan mentioned that it was mainly for Guru Dronacharyas because Dronacharya and Bhishma both were uh, god brothers. They were disciples of Lord Parshuram. So that is the point Baldev mentions here. And now we will move on to text 12. तस्य संजनयन् हर्षं कुरु वृद्धः पितामहः सिंहनादं विनद्योच्चैः शङ्खं दद्मौ प्रतापवान्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Purport. The grandsire of the Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana. And out of his natural compassion for him, he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch shell very loudly, befitting his position as a lion. Indirectly, by the symbolism of the conch shell, he informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side. But still, it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection. So it's very important to note here that Bhishma Dev knew the result of the Mahabharata war, and he just indicated uh, Duryodhana's defeat by merely blowing his conch shell. Arguably, Bhishmadev could have spoken to Duryodhana and uh, given him some strategic planning as to how they can have upper hand on Pandava's army. But he simply blew his conch shell. So that was the hidden indication from Bhishmadev that we should not expect victory from this fight. So, and that is the valid reason here because Lord Shri Krishna, who is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is standing with Pandava's side and he is helping them. Is personally present over there. So, how can we expect to defeat God? So, that's just not possible. Uh, Duryodhana, even though uh, he knew that Krishna uh, had uh, immeasurable power. Even Lord Krishna uh, revealed to him that he is now no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still uh, he just ignored him. So that's the nature of demons. Uh, Demons, they know about God, but still they want to deride him. So here, Bhishma Dev informs Duryodhana that you are a demon and you cannot get any victory. Uh, I'm here to oblige to fight with you because I have taken a vow to assist the king, and as a duty, I will be fighting for you. But don't expect any victory from this war. Okay. Then text 30. ततः शङ्खाश भेर्यश्च प्रणवानकगो मुखाः सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्त सशब्दस्तुमुलो भवत्. After that, conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Text 13 does not have any purport, so we will read text 14. ततश्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितौ माधवः पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यौ शङ्खौ प्रदध्मतुः. Translation. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Purport. In contrast with the conch shell blown by Bhishma Deva, the conch shells in the hands of Krishna and Arjuna are described as transcendental. The word used here is Divya Shankho. Divya means transcendental. The sounding of the transcendental conch shells indicated that there was no hope of victory for the other side because Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. Jayastu Pandaputranam Yesham Pakshe Janardanaha. We also have similar uh, utterance from Sanjay at the end of Bhagavad Gita. That Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanuttharaha Tatra Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruva Netir Matit Mama. So wherever there is Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Arjuna, uh, there lies victory, there lies good fortune, there lies all material opulences, and so on. So here, uh, Lord Shri Krishna, who is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Arjuna, uh, who is also an eternal associate of Lord Shri Krishna. So basically, Nara and Narayana are present on the battlefield, and both are transcendental personalities, and their uh, conchals are also transcendental. So uh, that is the import of the mentioning of this particular word Divya Shankha. So they are not ordinary personalities. So there is no chance of victory for Duryodhana. Continuing, and whenever and wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also there, because the goddess of fortune never lives alone without her husband. Therefore, victory and fortune were awaiting Arjuna, as indicated by the transcendental sound produced by the conch shell of Vishnu or Lord Krishna. Okay. Besides that, the chariot on which both the friends were seated had been donated by Agni, the fire god, to Arjuna, and this indicated that this chariot was capable of conquering all sides wherever it was drawn over the three worlds. So, not just conscious were transcendental, but Arjuna had a very special chariot. It was given to him by fire god Agnideva. Uh, that is a uh, there's a story behind this, that once Agnidev wanted to devour Khandav forest. Uh, so Arjuna helped Agnideva to consume that forest. So as a reciprocation, Agnideva gifted this particular chariot to Arjuna. So this chariot has a very specific characteristic that whoever sits on that chariot will always be victorious. And Arjuna had the privilege of having such a great transcendental chariot with him. So all these signs indicated victory on Pandava's side. So here we can see that Sanjay, while reporting to Dhritarashtra that what was going on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was indirectly indicating that uh, Duryodhan and his party are going to lose the battle, uh, because Lord Shri Krishna, Arjuna, they are all transcendental personalities, and they have transcendent powers, and they are going to win. Because Sanjaya, he is a disciple of Vyasadeva, and being a true representative of Vyasadeva, he is committed to speak the truth for the benefit of blind Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was blind not from just material point of view, but also from spiritual point of view. So Sanjay, uh, due to his being his advisor, Dhritarashtra's advisor, he is pointing him out that uh, ultimate result of this war is your destruction. Your destruction basically means Duryodhana is going to lose the battle. Okay, next. Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Pauntram Dadmo Mahashankham Bhima Karma Prakodaraha. Translation: Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjun blew his, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra. Purport: Lord Krishna is referred to as Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. Because the word Rishikesha can be split into two parts, Rishika and Isha. Rishika means senses and Isha means controller. So Rishikesha means the controller or owner of the senses. Continuing, the living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entities are also part and parcel of his senses. So, as we also come across a Vedic statement that Sarvam Kuru Idam Brahma. So, everything, whatever exists, in the world is nothing but an expansion of the Supreme Brahma. So, following this logic, even our arms, our limbs, our legs, and so on are nothing but an expansion of the Supreme Brahma, Lord Krishna. So that is the uh, hidden meaning given here. Continuing, the impersonalist cannot account for the senses of the living entities, and therefore they are always anxious to describe all living entities as senseless or impersonal. So there is a class of people who have a limited understanding of the absolute truth, and they uh, uh, give too much emphasis on the impersonal aspect of the supreme absolute truth. Though there is such discussion in the Vedas regarding the impersonal aspect of the Lord, but that is not the complete understanding of the supreme absolute truth. That's a partial understanding. So, uh, particularly the followers of Advaitins or followers of Adi Shankara, uh, they give too much emphasis on this impersonal aspect, and they want to conclude that the ultimate reality is that impersonal Brahman. Actually, we are all that Brahman because Brahma is undivided. So, following this logic, we are all one and the same. And the real goal of Vedanta is to understand this truth that uh, Brahma is one and we are actually that impersonal Brahma. But the uh, policy in this argument is that there are many attributes of that Brahma, the Supreme Brahma, that are described in Vedas. And whenever we talk about attributes, that clearly indicates some form, because only form can have some attributes. The thing which is formless cannot have any attributes. So um they fail to uh, uh, give justice to such description of Supreme Brahma, where he has been glorified by his attributes. So, Srila Prabhupada particularly mentions this misunderstanding of impersonalism. Continuing, the Lord, situated in the hearts of all living entities, directs their senses. But he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity, and in the case of a pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. So here it's a very important point for devotees because when we say that Lord Shri Krishna is the Rishikesh, is the controller of all senses or everyone's senses, then uh, what does it mean to us? So for devotees, uh, Lord Shri Krishna personally directs their senses to benefit them, whereas he also directs the senses of uh, non-devotees, uh, but he uh, does not direct him personally as he does with his devotees. So that's a difference between uh, controlling the senses of devotees and controlling the senses of non-devotees. Continuing, here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna, and thus his particular name of Rishikesh. So, when Lord Krishna directs the senses of his pure devotees, that simply indicates his favor on his on pure devotees, because a pure devotee who may be having some worldly imperfection, but because he has been controlled by the Supreme Personality of God, who is all perfect, so he has nothing to fear about failure in his life, because uh, when one is controlled by the perfect or guided by the perfect, then how can he be defeated? How can there be any imperfection in him? So that is the uh, lesson for us. Uh, so those are following the path of pure devotional service. So there should be uh, have this assurance in mind that if they are uh, genuinely following the path of pure devotion, then Lord Krishna would certainly guide their senses uh, favorably, and uh, he will uh, benefit his pure devotees by personally guiding their senses. So here on the battlefield of Mahabharata, we clearly see the demonstration of this aspect of the Lord. As Prabhupada mentioned, that he is going to guide the senses of Arjuna and other Pandavas. So there's a privilege of pure devotees, whereas those are not devotees or semi-devotees or non-devotees, they do not have this privilege. So they are also controlled by the Supreme Lord, but in a little different way. Uh, they don't receive this particular favor of the Supreme Lord. That's the difference. Okay. Next, the Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhusudana because he killed the demon of the name Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and to the senses. And his name is Vasudeva because he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. His name is Devki Nandan because he accepted Devki as his mother. His name is Yashoda Nandan because he awarded his childhood pastimes to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Parthasarathi because he worked as charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesha because he gave direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So, as per the activities of the Supreme Lord, he receives so many names, so many beautiful names. So, uh, if you read Vishnu Sahasranam, then there are many such names wherein the Supreme Lord's various features have been explained in great detail by various commentators, various Vaishnava acharyas. So those are interested, they can study this Vishnu Sahasranama. Okay, continuing. Arjun is referred to as Dhananjaya in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. So here Srila Prabhupada is mentioning about the Rajasuya sacrifice uh, because Maharaj Yudhishthira, he once desires to perform Rajasuya sacrifice, and for this sacrifice to perform, there was a great need of wealth, because in such sacrifices, the king is expected to give huge amount of donations, and he has to prove himself a powerful king. So to be a powerful king, he must have uh, control over other kings, and at the same time, he must have so much wealth. So Arjuna, as the representative of Maharaj Yudhishthira, his elder brother, he goes in all the four directions and gets wealth for this particular sacrifice. So, because he accumulated wealth for this sacrifice, he was called Dhananjaya. Dhana means wealth. Okay. Continuing. Similarly, Bhima is known as Brukodara because he could eat as voraciously as he could perform Herculean tasks such as killing the demon Hidimba. So why Bhima has been named as Bhima Karma? Because he is famous for doing uh, superhuman activities or Herculean tasks, as Prabhupada mentions here. Because he killed many powerful demons like Hidimba, Baka and so on, because uh, to kill demons like uh, Hidimba and others, uh, the human strength is not enough. And because Bhima had such immense strength, because he was the son of this wind god Vayu, so he has this exceptional ability. Uh, Next, so the particular types of conscience blown by the different personalities on the side of the Pandavas, beginning with the lords, were all very encouraging to the fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the supreme director, nor that of the goddess of fortune. So they were predestined to lose the battle, and that was the message announced by the sounds of the conscience. So here we clearly see that Arjuna, Bhima, uh, Yudhishthira, they were all qualified for their exceptional abilities. And moreover, Lord Sri Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was present there with his transcendental conch shell Panchajanya. So there is also a story behind this Panchajanya. There's a conch shell called Panchajanya is an eternal associate of the Supreme Lord Krishna. But whenever Lord appears in this material world, his eternal associates, such as Conchal, and others, they appear uh, along with him. And there could be uh, different ways how they appear in this material world. So, uh, uh, when Lord Sri Krishna appeared in this material world, so his conch shell Panchjanya, it was with one demon called Panchajanya, and that is a uh, uh, particular pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna regarding his childhood. That when he was studying under the guidance of Sanipani Muni, his teacher, and uh, when he completed his study, uh, Guru Sanipani uh, requested him to offer his son back as a Guru Dakshina, because Sanipani Muni's son, he happens to uh, go to ocean side, and then he never returns back. So Sanipani Muni and his wife were so much worried about uh, their son, and they knew the strength of Lord Krishna, so they requested Lord Krishna to kindly bring his son back. So Lord Krishna, to please his guru Sanipani Muni, he visits ocean. He consults the deity of the ocean named Varun Dev, and Varuna informs Lord Krishna that this Sandipani Muni's son was devoured by one demon called Panchajanya, who was lying there in the form of a sea worm. So Lord Krishna has to fight with this demon Panchajanya, but he could not find his guru's son in his stomach. End of the fight, he receives his this Panchajanya's body, which was in the form of a conch shell. So basically, this is how he received Panchajanya conch shell, and then he goes to the abode of Yamaraja to find the soul of Sandipani Muni's son, and finally he gets the Sandipani Muni's son from Yamapuri, and delivers him to uh, his guru. So that's a story regarding Panchajanya conscience. Okay. Now, text 16, 17, and 18. अनंत विजयम राजा कुंती पुत्रो युधिष्ठिरः नकुलः देवश्च सुघोषमणिपुष्पकौ काश्यश्च परमेश्वर शिखंडी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्विकिश्चापराजितः द्रुपदो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्वशः पृथिवीपते सौभद्रश्च महाबाहुः शङ्खान् दद्मुः पृथक् पृथक्. Translation. King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell, the Ananta Vijaya, and Nakul and Sahadev blew the Sughosha and Manipushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kashi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virat, the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and the others, O king, such as the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. Purport. Sanjay informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that his unwise policy of deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons on the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable, because Sanjay uh, was supposed to speak the truth on behalf of Lord Vyasadeva. So he uh, indirectly pointed this out to Maharaj Dhritarashtra, that your plans are not approved by Dharma, and because you are not following Dharma, you are going to get defeat. Next, the signs already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru dynasty would be killed in that great battle, beginning with the grandsire Bhishma down to the grandsons like Abhimanyu and others, including kings from many states of the world. All were present there and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons. So, in Mahabharata, at many places, Dhritarashtra laments that uh, he is he advises Duryodhana to make a peace with Pandavas, but somehow Duryodhana does not listen to him. But due to his excessive attachment to Duryodhana, he just can't stop him. So here we can see this particular anartha called uh, attachment to one's body. So Dhritarashtra, he was attached to Duryodhana because he was born of his body, and because of that, he though capable of stopping Arjuna, but just finds himself incapable. And many ministers of Dhritarashtra inform him and urge him that to take a bold step in this regard, but Dhritarashtra just can't help himself. So uh, uh, that's a very this, unfortunate condition for anyone to get uh, blinded by material attachments. So uh, sometimes we may think that if we receive good counsel, then maybe we can uh, we will be able to follow the right path. But just good counsel is not enough. We should be able to uh, get ourselves detached from our material desires or material attachments. If you are not thinking of getting detached from material desires, then it will be very difficult to act on spiritual platform or to act on the spiritual guidance. So many times devotees have this question that we know all these things, but still somehow we are not able to uh, follow this. So the answer is very simple. Our attachment is our enemy. So, and the whole Mahabharata is a testimony for that. Okay, next verse. सघोषो धार्तराष्ट्राणां हृदयानि व्यदारयत् नभश्च पृथिवीं चैव तुमुलोऽभ्यनुनादयन्. Translation. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Purport. When Bhishma and the others on the side of Duryodhana blew their respective conches, there was no heartbreaking on the part of the Pandavas. It's very significant thing. When Pandavas blew their conches, Duryodhana and others' hearts were shattered, but the reverse was not visible. Such occurrences are not mentioned, but in this particular verse it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas party. This is due to the Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. So, why uh, breaking of heart was not visible or happened in case of Pandavas? The reason is because they had confidence in Lord Krishna. So, it's a great lesson for us that if you have great faith in Lord Krishna or Krishna consciousness, then we don't have to fear in any adverse condition of life. Just not just life, but even death or any other adverse conditions we might face in our daily life. So sometimes the devotee uh, have this question that we may have to face some challenges in our life. So uh, sometimes we uh, think that we may not be able to just overcome our challenges. So, in this situation, the only solace is our faith in Krishna consciousness. So, we have to pray to Krishna and follow His directions, His instructions to navigate through these challenges. So, it is not a matter of uh, getting anything or losing anything material, but uh, our purpose in life or in death is to be Krishna conscious, because it is Krishna consciousness which is life, which is happiness. The rest is only a different forms of misery. So that we have to understand through Shastra. If he thinks that this material pleasure is pleasure or material miseries are misery, and uh, that's something a loss for us, then we are in illusion. That's that's another form of illusion. And when we think this material pleasure is a pleasure and we are very happy, that's another illusion. So uh, when we study Bhagavad Gita or uh, Vedanta, so the conclusion of the Vedas is that we have to go above these dualities, pains and pleasure. So these pains and pleasures are nothing but our imagination of mind, because all these arise in mind, because we have this bodily identification. So we tend to think in terms of bodily pleasure and bodily pain. But once we know or act on the on the platform of soul or Krishna consciousness, then we can clearly see that this material pleasure or material pain are nothing but simply a different forms of uh, misery. Whereas Krishna consciousness can make us happy in all situations of life. So that's a message from this scene of this particular scene of Mahabharata. Arjuna and other Pandavas, they were least worried about their victory, because they were so confident of Lord Krishna. And why not? If God is with us, then why to worry about anybody? So that's very logical. And that's what Prabhupada concludes. One who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. And we have many examples of saintly personalities in the past that they uh, did not fear of any painful conditions in their life. Uh, we see Prahlad Maharaj, even Haridas Thakur. So they were put in a very adverse conditions, but still they uh, remained Krishna conscious, and that was their success. So sometimes we tend to think in terms of material success or material failure, but actually we have to develop uh, uh, our vision that this material success and material failure, they are more or less the same, because that is not the uh, real analysis of the situation. What is success is what success is to remain in Krishna consciousness, because uh, we are. It is not we who are going to control material success or failure. There could be millions of factors who are affecting this material success and failure. So, what really matters that if we are able to be in Krishna consciousness, that means if we are able to remain uh, the uh, if we are able to taste the greatest bliss of Krishna consciousness in any situations of life, then that is success. Because uh, the rest things does not really matter, because they are all uh, liable to change. Today we have some material success, tomorrow we may not have that success. So these are liable to change. But Krishna consciousness is our permanent asset. So if you are permanent, if you have this permanent asset with us, then we will always be in bliss. And when we are in bliss, then we will be able to give that bliss, share that bliss to others, and that will be a real success for us and for others. Hare Krishna. So I will conclude here. If there is any questions or queries or doubts, then devotees can kindly send those queries to our the Secrets of Bhagavad Gita WhatsApp group, and I will try to answer them as time permits. Okay. Thank you for joining this course. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. Thank you.